Gene Thorpe, Little Red Rooster TV, and today we're going to kind of talk a little bit about Nady Corporation and the Nady TCM1050 microphone. And this microphone right here, I've had it for about 15 years. I was turned onto it by a friend who told me, hey, these things are really good, and I bought it. But I wanted to go back and talk a little bit about my experience with John Nady. John Nady was the guy that started the company in 1976, and he started out with wireless guitar systems. And I, like not having a cord when you play because it gives you a tremendous amount of freedom. But when they first came out, some of them, if you weren't into the high end, just weren't very good, and you could get police channels and all that kind of stuff. But John Nady was a pioneer in that technology. The high-end ones were really good, and he also brought some lower-end things to the market so that normal guitar players could afford them. In the same way he does with these microphones. See, another little story I've heard over the years is that back in the day, the Neumann microphones were tremendous, and they were the only, the favored large diaphragm condenser microphone, tube microphones that were used in almost every recording studio around. And probably all the way up until maybe the 70s, the technology was such that nobody was producing those type of diaphragms. But when things started getting outsourced, and this is a story I've heard, some people in China got that technology. The diaphragm in here is very large, and it's made out of brass, but it's sprinkled with gold, which makes them really sound good. I mean, these kind of microphones, I'm going to talk a little bit about the sound of them in a moment. And the body of the microphone, many of the components on this microphone are made of brass, so it's going to last for a long time. Now, another thing that I've heard is that this microphone has gone under a number of other names, and all the reviews that I've ever heard of by people who do way more recording than I do and are of higher technical abilities, say it's a good microphone. If you look right over here, this is the tube preamp that comes along with the microphone. It's got a volume control on it, and that preamp has a 12AX7 little tube in it that gives the tone. And many people say that the one that comes with it is not very good. I've heard stories that they're soldered in, but they say that when you change that power tube to like an RCA or a tungsten, some really good Sovtech or something like that, that you get a better tone out of it. Now, in my case, I get a tone that's very good. The thing about these types of microphones, in my opinion, are that the large diaphragm microphone hears everything in the room. It's going to hear the bouncing off the walls. I've heard people say in very small studios, these types of microphones may not sound good because you almost have to have the room tuned, because if the room, it's going to pick up what the room sounds like. So in this particular room, we've got a high ceiling, we've got, some soundproofing and bass traps and that type of thing. This thing has performed so well. It's sort of like you can hear every breath and all of that, and you don't have to be too close to it. I've actually played acoustic guitars with this, and we're probably 4 or 5 feet away. Another thing that people use these kind of microphones for is you have close drum miking, but then you can put this out in the room and hear the ambience of the room. So these types of microphones are very good, and I've seen them for as low as, like this one right here, for as low as $100. These are on the market. I've heard of people buying them for only $150, but they're generally they would go around $350. They come with a preamp, nice metal case to go in them, and I recommend them highly. That's why I wanted to bring it up. And this is Gene Thorpe, Little Red Rooster TV, signing out.